If you want to support BGG, go to their website and become a user. Or you could go to the Board Game Geek YouTube website and like their video. Click subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell notification button. Or you could go to the Board Game Geek Store, where you'll find board games, promos, accessories, and more. Your challenge is to become the first player with 7 pieces. But the more the game progresses, the limited your choices become. Today in the store is Pantarei. To set up Pantarei, players will take the 18 scales in the 2 different colors, black and white, flip them upside down along with the 1 neutral scale, and shuffle them together, domino style. Next, players will take those scales that they just previously shuffled face down and form a snake as such, flipping those face up. Okay, you could choose which side is face up with the neutral tile. I'll let you decide. Then a player will choose what color they want to be, and the other player will be the first player. And that is how you set up Pantarei. The object of Pantarei is to be the first player to get to 7 scales in a pile. To do this, players will use their scales and move the number of spaces dictated by the symbol on top. As you can see, we have a 1, a 2, or a 3. Okay, we also have a neutral tile here, which is not controlled by any other player, but can be controlled if a player's scale is on top of it. We'll get into that in a second. Now on a player's turn, a player will choose a scale of their color and move it the number of symbols dictated on top, as I said previously, either left or right down the river. So in this case, the black 2 will go 1, 2 down the river. And then the scale to either the left or right, depending on where you moved it, will move in and make the river a little tighter. Now, if a player has a pile, which is more than 1 scale, and they have a controlling scale on top, they can move that pile either up or down the river, the number of spaces dictated by the symbol on top. Again, all the rest of the scales would move in tighter. As I said before, the neutral tile is not controlled by anyone until you make a pile with it, and the scale on top is the controlling color of that pile. Okay, and then it's just like any normal scale or pile of scales. You can move it up or down the number of spaces dictated by the tile. Another action players can take is swapping piles. Okay, in order to do this, they must have a pile of their color in control, and they can swap it with another pile of their color that is in control. So here we got this 2 here. We'll swap it with this pile here. Take this pile here, and we move them into the other position. Okay, again, you can only move 2 scales in a pile. All right. It does not have to be 2 piles. You could also do 1 scale to a pile. So here we have this single scale of 2 in the black color, and we're going to swap it here with the 1. Now you cannot swap piles if you previously swapped piles. All right. And another rule, the final rule, is if you cannot do an action, you simply pass until you can again. And this will continue. Players will go back and forth until one player reaches a pile of 7 high, and in that case the player wins. And that's it. You are now ready to play Pantarei. Stay tuned for the gameplay. Alright, today we are playing Pantarei. I know I'm saying that wrong. I apologize. I never actually heard that word said out loud. But here we go. I will be the first player because Grubs here chose to be the white player. Okay, the white tiles. I will be the black tiles. Basically what we're trying to do is get a stack of 7 high with the tiles, which are called scales in this game. And as we see here, we have a 1, 2, or 3, and that depends on, that'll tell you how many spaces you're going to move, either left or right, up and down this river. I shall call it the Susky. That is basically it. Or, you know, there's a swap pile rule, and we'll get into that in the gameplay, I think. We'll see. I am going to try very hard to remember a rule, which is you can only move 2 scales at a time. Okay, this is something I forget a lot. It says it in the rule book. It actually reminds you in the rule book. I got to remember this. I will try very hard. So I'm up. I'm the black player. Let's go. For the first couple rounds, this is a quick game. It's not going to last many rounds, maybe 10, 15, but it's quick. For the first couple, I just try to take out the opponent's higher value token. So let's get to it. Black. I'm going to go to this guy here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Take out a 2. The river shrinks, and it is over to Grumps. Grumps is going to go back down the river. 1, 2, and it slides up. Back to me. I'm going to go over here. Going to go 1, 2, over to Grumps, and he's going to go boom, grab my 3. Wasn't paying attention. I should have moved it. All right, back to me. Okay, now I'm going to go and take these 3 out there. Okay, river shrinks, ever changing. Back to Grumps. Grumps is going to go 1, 2, 3, and the river slides down over to me. Didn't like that. All right, so he's 3 high there. So I can't control him. He's not my color. I'm the black. Grumps is the white. Yeah, I'm gonna go like that. River slides down. Grumps is gonna go like that. The river slides down. Comes back to me. I'm gonna take the neutral tile here. Okay, so now that I'm on top of the neutral tile, I control it. Okay, I can move it along with me. All right, and the river shrinks, and it goes back to Grumps. Grumps is gonna stop knocking tiles over. These are pretty clunky. I could grab them. Well, I don't know why I'm knocking them over. All right, Grumps is gonna go. 1, 2, 3. River slides down. Gotta start paying attention to my game. No, it is. All right, back to me. Got 4 there. I need 1 more. Okay, 1, 2. River slides down to Grumps. That's what Grumps to do. He's going to go 1, 2, 3. Back to me. Let's see, if I go 1, that'll bring me up to 6. He goes 1. That's the end of the game. Let's not do that. Let's think this one through. Okay. So if I open this up, 1, 2. That's still bring, but I open up that 3. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to cannibalize my own guy. Does not make sense. Right now they're safe. He can't get to me. So yeah, I'm going to go like this. Over to Grumps. Grumps doesn't want to cannibalize his own guy there, but he will do this. Back to me. All right, I'm going to cover up this guy. It's going to slide down, and it looks like that's the game. Grumps is going to take him out. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yes, that's the green game. Sorry, I tried to stretch it out, but stay tuned for my final thoughts, and you'll see why I wasn't that great at this game. All right, guys, it's time for me thinks. I'm really not comfortable with this end of it. I think I said that before. Eric Martin has done a review on this. He will get more in depth than I ever can. He's very talented like that. So if that's something you want to check out, go ahead. It's on the BGG YouTube website. I think it was In Focus. I can't remember. It's Eric Martin did it though. Originally, I wasn't going to do this one. This is they have 3 of these games from Claude Leroy and Leroy. I'm sorry, I don't know the French version of it. Over here in America, it's Leroy. I think it's Leroy, because one of my favorite hockey players was Ra from. Well, he ended up in Colorado, but originally he was in Detroit. But this is the 3rd game in a series of 6. All right, and BGG has 3 of those 6 in the store. Getting back to my point, Pantarei is the 3rd of that, and I figured since Eric only showed a couple practice rounds, I figured I'd show the whole game. It's a quick game, like you've seen. It's 10 minutes. The box says, I believe, and it's pretty accurate. I mean, depending on the player you're playing with, it could be somebody who's a little AP prone, it could take longer. Like I said, this is the third in the series from Claude and Tom Delahaye. Tom Delahaye. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time speaking today. Tom Delahaye is the artist, and I believe he is also the owner, or he has something to do with the publisher, Cosmoludo Games. This is an older game. It's a reprint of an older game, as is the other three behind me in the same series. I do like what they do with this 1, 2, 3, and I'll get into that in a second. Let me get to the components first. Grumps is, I've already said this a few times. The publisher, this is an older game. The publisher has done the same thing. I had the same things with the other ones. First being this guy here, the sleeve cover. It's up to you. Doesn't bother me one way or the other. I said it before. The 5 rule books, I wish they had the languages on front, just so you could pick them out quicker. Speaking of the rule book, this one was very well done. You can see there's a bunch of diagrams showing you what to do. Very easy to read. I can tell it's not an American publisher because of the translation, because of the word color spelled a little differently over there in Europe. Minor things, but you can comprehend it pretty easy. I'm heavily metagaming most of the time, and I did, so it's got to be easy for other people. Got my handy dandy notebook so I don't remember the rest, speaking of medication. Alright, so the components. The inlay, again, rub off after dozens and dozens of play. Not a real big thing. I do like they're chunky. I could pick them up, as you can see. Got bad hands. The magnet on the box, went through it, see if they hold. I don't know. The ones I've had haven't really had luck with that. They eventually just release. We'll see. Haven't had the games that long. Can't talk about that. All right, the gameplay. Going back to the designers, I like that 1, 2, 3 thing they're doing with this. Each of the games, Mana and Hikito, and this one, your movements are dictated by the symbols. You either got the 1, the 2, or the 3, and that tells you, how to go. I like that they played with this mechanism 3 times now. I don't know if it's in all 6 of the games in the series, but at least these 3. I like the different ways they use that mechanism. With Mana, it was the Mana bird dictated the opponent's starting number, and the movement of each individual pawn. And then with the Hikito, you stack them, and then the point value is dictated by the symbol along with the movement. And with this, it's the movement. This is it's a cool how they use this mechanism in several different ways. Also, like Hikito, I like that this board shrinks as you're playing, and it limits your options. The swap rule I found really interesting. I've only seen it twice out of 8 games, I think, maybe 9. I took a break in between this one. When I realized some of the other games were going out of stock, I got this one. I played it a few times and I stopped, and I went back to it. So I can't remember exactly how many times I played it. About 8. That swap thing I've only seen twice in those 8 plays, and I find it another layer of complexity, which I really didn't expect or really understand at first. Being that you can only move 2 scales off of a pile onto another pile when you're swapping or moving in general. So when you do that, you reveal what that third scale is, and you want to make sure it's not going to be advantageous to your opponent. You could be revealing a 3 of theirs or something that'll do some damage to you and not realize it. So I guess there's a bit of memory in this, in that part. Like I said, I'd like to see that played out a little bit more. The swap the 2 scale rule that added more complexity to the game than I initially thought, and I found that very interesting. The rules are simple, like I said. You're just moving the number of spaces dictated by the symbol, and you're just trying to get the 7. This is a race game. They all pretty much are, but this is a real race game. It's just the first to grab that 7 high. The player count is 8. I'm sorry, it's 2. Obviously, it's a 2-player game. The ages are 8 and up, I believe. Yes, and it took 10 minutes. Like I said, the 10 minutes I think is right, depending on AP players. The ages, I did play this with a 7, or I think 8. He's 8. And then a 9-year-old. And they grasped it really quick. And they liked it, because, again, it's quick. But it was, for them, it was challenging, but not overwhelming, you know? So I do like that. Any player can pick this up. Simple rules. And it's quick. 2-3 games in an hour. Usually I find about 2. With the adults. Some of the adults a little more AP prone. Believe Jen liked this one. Yes, she did like this one. Hikito is her favorite, I believe, out of the 3. I enjoy this. I did. Again, I enjoyed this. Probably, yeah, Hikito is probably my favorite out of the 3 too. And then probably this one would be at the bottom end of the 3, only because I haven't played it as much with Jen in particular. She's my main gaming partner, and the group thing, you know. So I'd like to see the strategies expand a little more with her. And I've only played it 8 times, so I by no means scratched the itch on this one, you know. Other than that, I think that's it, right? Going through the components, inlays, I went through all that, layout. So, what do I think? I think I like it. As I said, I pretty much gave it away. I think this is my least favorite of the 3 out of this set of 6 that I've played, only 3 of, from Cosmoludo and Claude Leroy. Sorry. And I keep forgetting this guy's name. I'm sorry, Tom. Tom Delahaye. Oh, now I can't even say it. And I'm Irish. Delahaye. Tom Delahaye. Having a rough day. Weather. Sorry. Grumps would just say it's an abstract strategic game. You know, if you're not into them, it's not going to be for you. If you are, or you do not know if you are in them, I'd give it a shot. You know, I enjoyed it, and that's pretty much all I think about that. So if this is something you would like to check out, go to the BGG Store right now, where it is on sale, along with all these other games behind me. Except for the crew. The crew and Quickling Birds aren't, but the Geek Bits for them are. Then, till next time, get gaming, have fun. See you next time. Keep your head up. Get me out! If you want to support BGG, go to their website and become a user. Or you could go to the Board Game Geek YouTube website and like their video. Click subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell notification button. Or you could go to the Board Game Geek store, where you'll find board games, promos, accessories, and more. All I am saying is Gift's got some cash. Beaker, how do you still have hair? You shed so much. How are you not bald? I know. You were just born this way. Methinks, it's time for methinks. What do me thinks? Me don't know yet what me thinks. Me wrote it down. They don't remember. Maybe I'll remember by the time I start recording.